So let's move right along into some college football. We got Clemson. I mean, very impressive one versus Georgia Tech this past weekend. And we got Alabama. Very, very impressive win over Georgia, despite all of the controversy regarding Nick Saban and the coronavirus. Who do you believe should be number one?
I know Alabama has the more impressive wins on their resume as far as teams they have beat. But the eye test, if you watch that Clemson team, oh my God, it's been a while since I've seen a team that well, I mean, I guess LSU was last year. It wasn't that long ago, but I mean that team is dominant, 73-7. Come on, man, and they took Trevor Lawrence out early in the second half. They could have dropped 100 if they really wanted to.
Hundo. They really could have dropped the
They could have dropped a hundo. I mean, they only have one win over a top ranked team. Versus Alabama has two with Texas A&M and Georgia. But the eye test alone by itself tells me that Clemson deserves to be number one, and that's who. Until they, I mean, the closest game they've had was a 24-point game, the first game of the season against Wake Forest. They have not had even a competitive game against Clemson from anybody, including Miami. Miami got their butt handed to them
bad.
So I'm gonna go with Clemson, man. What are you thinking?
And
I'm enjoying me some boudin while you're talking.
Please, brother, please enjoy that. Please. Was that from Best Stop?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, shout out to Best Stop. Hey, man, if you're from Louisiana, man, make sure you go to Best Stop. Get you a link of boudin, a pound of crackling, and get your favorite beverage to go along with it. Shout out to them dudes, man. They make amazing boudin as well as other fresh condiments. So I like Clemson because, and it's not just the Trevor Lawrence factor. Travis Etienne is an animal. He's a man-child. I think people are sleeping on him. I think he's a top. I think he might be one of the top running backs to come out, number one. Number two, I truly believe he can be a generational back in the NFL. And number three, I think they're just so well coached in Clemson.
Yes.
Dabo does an amazing job of getting those guys prepared. But here's my issue. The ACC doesn't really have that many good teams. When you talk about Alabama and the SEC, Alabama goes through some. And granted, I don't knock either conference, but look, if you're in the SEC, it's a war every week, guaranteed. It doesn't matter if it's Vanderbilt. I don't care if it's Mississippi. I don't care who it is. It's a war. Matter of fact, let me ask you this question, and I think this is going to solve it. If you put the worst team in the SEC against the worst team in the ACC, who do you think wins?
I mean, the SEC team will win.
All right, in a discussion, Alabama number one. It's easy.
So you're discounting individual teams completely. You're saying, because they come from a harder conference, they automatically, if they're the best team in the best conference, then they have to be the best team in the whole nation.
Their strength of schedule is crazy. Like when you gotta play,
but they've only played two ranked teams.
I feel you.
And Clemson still has the number 3 team in the nation to play in Notre Dame.
That could give them some trouble. But at the same token, it might be a half full of trouble, but who knows?
Yeah, let's be realistic.
But when you look at, Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami, Louisville, all right. Alabama's got to see LSU. They got to see They already saw Texas
Come on,
A&M.
LSU. Come
Hey,
on, man. Come on,
I'm just
man.
throwing it out there. I'm
Come on,
throwing it out.
LSU.
I am just throwing it out there. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So you got Texas A&M, you got Ole Miss, you got Florida. You got an Arkansas team that can shock you a couple times. So to me, at Vanderbilt, Tennessee, you got some tough teams. Any team can knock you off at any time. I'm just saying that when you start talking about really, really good teams, again, you knocked off Georgia. That's impressive. I don't see anybody on Clemson's schedule that compares to Georgia at all. And that could be a one-loss Georgia team at that. I don't see a one-loss anybody outside of Notre Dame.
But at the
Maybe.
eye test, looking at both teams in their play,
If
who
you
is the best team?
if you ask me, I like both teams, but I like Alabama a little bit more because they're more battle tested. I understand everyone's going to say, "Oh man, Clemson's this great team," and blah 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 blah. And Alabama, Alabama's defense is the worst defense. They're playing the worst. They're playing the worst defensively in the Nick Saban era. I get it, but guess what? In the SEC, in the SEC. It is tough, man. It is tough week in and week out. When you got to go up against, when you're a five-star guy that's going up against other five-star guys, or your five-star best friends, or guys that you went to camps with on multiple occasions. And then, oh, by the way, you're getting coached by top-tier coaches. It's hard. It's very hard. I just don't, to me, in the end, this is going to happen. Clemson and Alabama will probably see each other for the national championship, right? Bama's going to roll straight through them.
What?
Bama's going to roll straight through them. I want everyone, if you're listening, I am going to say it. Bama is going to roll. And I am not an Alabama fan by no stretch of the imagination. I cannot stand Alabama fans. However, I am going to be honest and fair. Alabama is going to destroy Clemson. Like Clemson, badly. It's going to be disrespectful. It's going to be a moment.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence goes down as one of those guys who have always been great in the regular season and comes up short? Because you're saying he's going to go 1-3 in national championship games. Is he going to be the LeBron James of college football?
No, I think he's going to be the Mitchell Trubisky of college football. He's going to be a really, there are going to be so many people that say this guy is great, 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 right? But when it comes to the big games, he folds. And maybe it's time for us to really look at Trevor Lawrence for what he is. Maybe it's time.
What is that?
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is as good as everyone has advertised. He is a great college football player. You know what? I'll gladly say this.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Say this on air.
Oh man.
Trevor Lawrence will be Matt Leinart.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me? He will be the Matt Leinart. He will be Matt Leinart. Great college football career. However, in the pros, it doesn't translate.
That's insane, man. Clearly, you have not watched any of this guy's tape.
Hey, I just want to let you know now, when it happens, all I know is this. Thank me later.
Okay.
Thank me later.